Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon here, back with Zuko. As always, this is Wednesday. It means it's Obi-Wan Kenobi Day, episode number 4. Again, I've just woken up, so if I look like crap, I do apologise. But yeah, moving on from last week's episode, which, I enjoyed. I definitely think there was some elements of it I thought could have been done better. I've seen a lot of people, as always, just kind of nitpick and just bitch and moan. And, people go on about the smallest of things, and it's like, come on, guys, it's a TV show, I think the editing and the directing could have been a bit better. Elements of the shaky cam, elements, of the way it was cut could have been a little bit better. But, I enjoyed the episode. I thought, it was a really fun episode. Wasn't expecting Vader to show up so soon. The duel between him and Obi-Wan made sense. Obi-Wan is an old man who hasn't used the Force in nearly 10 years, hasn't used his saber in nearly 10 years. He's rusty. Vader is, mechanical. He is rigid. He can't run. He is someone who is going to take his time with this because he wants to enjoy it. And he was brutal. He was absolutely brutal in the episode. So, people kind of dunking on, the fact that it wasn't a Clone Wars, prequel era fight scene. It's like, guys, you're expecting way too much here, You're not thinking about what this is, where we are in the timeline. We're transitioning from, that prequel era to the original trilogy. And look at Alec Guinness against David Ward-Prowse. And, there's got to be some kind of connection there. But, we've got another 3 episodes to go. This episode is short again. It's like only half an hour long if you take away credits and intros and whatnot, which is disappointing, very disappointing for me because, if they were going to have this series be, 3 or 4 hours, then, it's like you could have cut it down into a movie and improved on some of the quality of the filmmaking. But, I'm not going to bitch about little things. So, yeah, we're going to jump in. We're going to see what happens. Episode number 4. See what the fallout is with both Vader and Obi-Wan. And Reva, obviously having caught Leia. So, let's jump in. I like the parallels. Parallels are interesting. Oh, that does not look nice.
We're on Jabim. You're safe now.
Ah, they're on Jabim.
Where's Leia?
Oh, is she in Fortress Inquisitorius? That's a bad place for her to be.
You can't keep me here.
You have no rights here.
Look at the tiny cuffs. Why do they have tiny children cuffs?
He will come for me.
Get him on the first transport out of here. Too many people are looking for you.
Ooh, I like that look. I like the cleaner robes.
Making a rock flow from here to Coruscant.
Someone very important to me has been taken. I need your help to get
He's looking more Jedi-like now.
I'm sorry.
Where we are, what we're doing. Broken, if she finds us, we need to prepare an evacuation.
And she's looking much more like Ilaria Sand.
Then help us to get her back.
I had a wife once. I knew exactly what she was before we got married. We tried to hide it. And the
She a
Inquisitors
Jedi?
found her anyway.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
It's impenetrable, Wade.
How far
No, it's
down do you
not.
think it
Cal
goes?
Kestis got in there.
Idea. It's their base
He
of
fucked
operations.
shit up.
Probably got a command center training facility.
The truth is, nobody knows what it looks like in there.
I don't see any shields.
Cal Kestis
Because
does.
no one would be stupid enough to attack them.
He's practicing.
And I think you know.
He's just a kid.
How did he die?
Oh.
He burned to death on Mapusa.
Are they going to show us active torture of a kid now? I mean, they snapped a kid's neck last week. Like the look of those transports. Now, how's Obi-Wan going to get all the way across? I do love the design.
Yes, sir, of course, but...
Perhaps I should just inform the Grand Inquisitor of your insolence.
Uh-oh.
I'm here.
But the Grand Inquisitor is dead.
Do you know what classified means?
She mentioned the Grand Inquisitor, but do they know the Grand Inquisitor is dead?
Alright, I'm inside the system. Here we go.
Oh, is he using the animals? Oh, it's just like the Phantom Menace, where he was swimming. Oh, buddy. You aren't getting paid enough for this. He's going in the drink, I think. She is trained to resist mind probes. We learnt this.
Contest.
We learnt this in A New Hope.
I learned that at a very young age as well.
Oh no. Lola's gonna get destroyed again.
Like everything else.
She's still pissed about the purge.
God, look at this place. What are they keeping down there?
It's probably best that you don't keep talking. Yeah, you look suspicious.
Where is she?
Let me see some identification.
You don't need to see my identification.
Come with me.
You're the same rank, so she can't bitch him out.
Tala. Tala.
Ouch. Oh, Jesus. How did they not see him? He was right in front of them. Oh, no. You heard that, but you didn't see him. Are you kidding me? These are the fucking... Are they Daredevil stormtroopers?
But it's been taken care of.
Again, how do the people right there and not, like... They could hear her. I know it's a nitpick, but...
I know what it's like. We're all on the same side here. These people,
Nope.
they'll leave you to die.
You see what she means? She thinks they left her during the purge.
I'll have to tell my father first. That's okay.
Clever.
We're all on the same side.
Clever. Ah.
Let's try, princess.
Go! Let go!
Oh. I'm surprised they don't have a child-sized torture rack. You know? They're putting her in an adult-sized one. Oh. Oh my god. Are they the preserved bodies of Jedi?
I think I've just found out what they're hiding down here.
This is your last chance.
This is quite dark. That's a fucking youngling. Okay. Wow.
Tala.
Yeah, this show is not holding back when it comes to
Just do it now.
child murder. I thought that was Mace Windu for a second.
I was told it cannot wait.
Oh no. The Vader. She pulled her out?
I'm sorry to intrude.
She might die. Ooh, here we go. Come on, give me blue saber. Yes! Okay. He's got his saber out. Really? Come on, stormtroopers. Yes. See, even Obi-Wan gets a hallway scene. It's been a while since we've seen blaster bolts deflected. Ooh, Hedge Trooper. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've seen this happen before. Oh. Open the blast doors! Open the blast doors! Now let it go. There you go. Yeah, you were supposed to be running.
Put this on.
Floating stormtroopers. That is quite comical. With the fish. Oh, come on. No one can seriously tell me that all those people... Like, come on. Not one person. Speeders! Oh, the T-47s! Oh, that doesn't look like a good shot. That looked very... It's cool seeing them again. That was not a smooth landing.
I got you, Sully. Just go.
I mean... It looks very hokey. It looks really hokey. How did they get here? Because those speeders don't have a hyperspace drive. Also, maybe send the TIE fighters after them?
You were born. What defeat?
Oh. Oh shit. Okay.
I put a tracker on the ship. Soon the location of the network and Kenobi.
Oh, she did her General Hooks. They can track them.
You're certain the tracker is with him?
Yes, my lord.
He seemed very quick to, like, not be angry.
It will follow.
Ah, that explains the hyperdrive situation. But again, they didn't send any TIE fighters out. She's seeing the fight firsthand. Oh, she put the tracker in Lola. Oh no! So, another episode, I mean, firstly, yeah, it was way too short. I mean, when you've got an intro that lasts like a minute and a half and then like 6 minutes worth of credits, you know, it seems like half an hour just isn't long enough. I mean, it was a fun jaunt, this episode. I definitely had problems with it again. There's moments where it just kind of takes you out of the experience. The story made sense, you know, in terms of like, you know, yeah, clearly she's going to take Leia back to Fortress Inquisitorius. You know, Obi-Wan's going to try and do everything he can to, you know, get her back. I like the parallels of Obi-Wan and Vader in the Bacta tanks, you know, almost like they were sharing their pained experiences together. You know, Obi-Wan's physical pain maybe being felt by Vader at the same time. Once Obi-Wan got to Fortress Inquisitorius, there was some issues that I had, like, you know, it's a beautiful set, you know, all those Imperial buildings, I love them because they're so clinical, clean, and, you know, well designed. And it was the same in, you know, the sequel trilogy. Anytime we were on board like a First Order ship, the architecture was amazing. You know, like Snoke's throne room. You know me. I don't have any love for The Last Jedi, but the set pieces were absolutely incredible. And that's always the same, you know, for like the Imperials, the bad guys. You know, they always have these impressive kind of structures and, you know, the set pieces. And this was no different. Problem that I've got is that, you know, again, this show is doing nothing to help the impression that the Empire is just not massively incompetent. Every stormtrooper, every officer, you know, it's only the people in charge who seem to have any kind of intelligence or wisdom to them. You know, it was only the the third sister who realized that, there was an infiltrator. And, the stormtroopers, my God. I know that they're not supposed to be, anything more than just, recruits hired, from different worlds, probably not trained all that well. But, some of the basics that they get wrong, those two stormtroopers that, were walking in the same corridor, and we can see in the same shot. And again, this might be just poor editing or poor directing. But, where we can physically see their line of sight, and we can see Obi-Wan in full view jumping into the access panel. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I'm sure that you didn't intend to make the stormtroopers look that incompetent. But you've really kind of done yourselves no favors there. So again, the stuff with the speeders, whilst cool on paper, it looked very hokey. It looked very poorly designed. Like, for me, it almost seemed like the speeders were miniature. There was a scene where Reva was literally, like, deflecting the blaster bolts. And, again, on paper, that sounds really cool. It's like, yeah, you've got this Inquisitor, she's got a spinny blade and she's deflecting all these bolts from the ship. But then they did a side-by-side shot, and it almost just looked like, there was a toy speeder hanging in the air. And, it just took me right out of the experience. They obviously answered the question as to how the speeders got there. There was a larger shuttle. But why didn't they just send TIE fighters after them? It's literally, I suppose you could say it's the same as last week. My impression last week was that Vader let them get away. Vader let them, leave because he wants to continue to have Obi-Wan haunted by his experiences, physically and mentally. He realized that there was more pain that could be done to Obi-Wan by himself than anything that Vader could do. So that was, in my impression, that was Vader letting him go because, he'd already done the damage he wants to do for that point in time. It's a cat and mouse game. He doesn't want to get the quick kill. He wants to be slow and methodical. He knows Obi-Wan's a beaten old man, so he doesn't have to worry about him getting away. This episode kind of goes against that a little bit because of how angry Vader seemed for like 5 seconds, and then as soon as like Reva was like, I've planted the tracker, he was like, good. And I'm like, okay. I was very quick to change your mind. But, again, it's literally like they just let them get away. They could have sent TIE fighters, Star Destroyers. It's the Mustafar system. There is going to be a heavy Imperial presence. And again, I think this is the thing is I don't want to look on it too heavily with that kind of, mindset. I don't want to be the person who kind of nitpicks the small things, but these aren't necessarily small things. And again, there were some things I really enjoyed about this episode. The scene where he's walking through and all of the Jedi are in resin. They're all like preserved. That was like an amazing scene. That was a great scene because, it gives you that shock value. And I'm fairly certain that the first one we saw was the Saber Keeper, who was voiced by David Tennant. So when we see in the Clone Wars, the younglings getting their lightsabers for the first time, there's like an old... Actually, no, that he wasn't the Saber Keeper because he voiced a droid. I'm trying to think who he was. It was definitely like an old Jedi. I'll have to look it up. There was an old Jedi. It looked like him. But yeah, no, that scene, and then you see the youngling. It was like, whoa. That is that gives you the intended, like, oh my god, they are not holding back here, and the fact that they were going to torture Leia, again, I think shows that this show wants to go that bit further than it just being a kid's show, but they'd also, in the end, still kind of holding back. But again, like I say, it was a fun jaunt. It was, it's always good to see, people trying to sneak around, seeing the lightsaber in action. It's been a long time since we've seen blaster bolts properly deflected, from people who aren't robots. So Obi-Wan got his own corridor scene. But again, I feel like there are elements of this that could be done much better. And it's not to say the show is bad or the episode is bad. It's not. It's just there are some moments where you're like, okay, could have been done a little bit better. You know, you look at it on screen and you think, this sometimes doesn't feel like it's connected, you know, to the same things that we saw, you know, in the films, just because of the way it's kind of shot and presented. And, you know, there are bits that, you know, logic seems to defy, but I'm not going to nitpick. Because, again, I'm coming out of the 4th episode saying that I enjoyed it. And now we'll see the tracker, you know, Vader will probably hunt them down wherever they go. My only worry is that it's kind of clear now to the Empire or to the Inquisitors that Leia is actively helping, you know, the Jedi and the early parts of the rebellion. That's kind of implicating her and her family. You know, the Empire couldn't just probably ignore that, you know, and then Bail, on Bail Organa's side, like, how can he ignore the fact that Leia's going to return to him and say, yeah, they tortured me, they probed me, you know, it's like, the Empire physically abducted his daughter and tried to torture her. How does he let that slide? I know that he's a politician, so he'll probably find a way of dealing with it subtly. But, you know, there are larger implications here that are more political than anything. So they have to be careful with how they treat this, because, you know, you don't want this to make it look like there should be a full-on revolt because of the way that people are certainly doing things. You know, either the Empire realizes Alderaan, or at least the Organas, are fully rebelling, and vice versa. You don't want to have the Organas, you know, becoming so angered that they just openly rebel, or makes it feel like they should openly rebel, and they don't. But again, decent episode, so be interesting to see what you guys thought, so let me know in the comments. But again, just way too short. I'm looking at this, and it was only half an hour. It feels like I should be still watching it now. So that's my only real qualm with this so far. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you for the next one.